Ready now.
Hello.
Start.
I'm alone in paradise. I gotta check some things out, y'all. Having a bathroom added, okay? And I just wanted to see how they were doing with it. Awesome. At any rate, come on and walk with me, and I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm making this video. Okay? Treehouse. I promised to show some people the treehouse, so there's the treehouse. Okay. At any rate, the reason I'm making the video is because of the young man that got killed in Atlanta. You guys don't know what happened. You really don't know what happened. You want to find some way to blame that young man for getting shot in the back 2 times. Now, before I tell you what happened, I'm going to tell you one of the policemen offered state's evidence. If anybody know anything about the criminal justice system, when a group of people commit a crime and one turns state's evidence, that means that there's a lot not going to come out until the courtroom. And so I'm getting you guys ready for what might be a big shocker to you. Okay? They decided to kill him. He made a fatal mistake. And in that mistake, I'm going to share with you what, excuse that, that's a truck dumping some stuff. They're doing construction over here. But in that mistake he made is something I get on black folks about all the time. I get on the black females for arguing with Becky and Karen, and the black males for doing the same. And I get on them for being the person that they're told to be when they're in the presence of a police officer. That's the worst thing a black man can do. The big mistake that young man made, instead of being a inebriated driver of a vehicle, operator of a vehicle, he wasn't all that drunk, but he was probably too drunk to be driving because he had, by his own admission, with family, partying. But watch the video. He made the crucial mistake. He was everything that police don't want to see of a black man. He was articulate, okay? He was speaking with clear diction. He was a family man. He was no thug. He was threatening. That's a threatening black man. A threatening black man is someone like me. A non-threatening is someone who wear their pants down, hat on sideways, talking all ignorant, yo, dog, and all that. That's non-threatening. That is the way the white populace is comfortable, because they pay billions of dollars in advertisement behind these rap artists to get young black men to look like that, act like that, because they remove themselves from mainstream America. They cannot walk into corporate America now and demand something. But that young man threatened corporate America. He threatened that white man because that white man started off in life at the 50-yard line. Rayshard started well before the start line, and they're running a 100-yard race. And what that white man was hearing was, hot damn it, he won the race. He don't like that. That bothered him. So he made the decision then that that young man had to die. He could have arrested him peacefully, but he had the other officers come. Now, when the other officers arrived, Rayshard knew he was going to die. Here's what happened. Watch the CNN journalist, not cameraman, the CNN journalist. You got to have your shit together to be a journalist, especially for somebody like CNN. This black man. Them police was, I don't know what city it was in, Minneapolis, I think. Those police were giving reporters a hard way to go. Telling them, you go here, you stand there. And so CNN was standing right where they told them. They seen that black man and identified him as a reporter. And they came and arrested him. Now, when they arrested him, I want camera now to show my hands. They arrested him. He had his hands behind his back. The officer kept taking his arm like this, twisting, doing it like that, twisting it, trying to get a reaction. But that brother was so sharp. He was so sharp. He did not budge. He didn't cringe. He didn't do anything to cause that police officer to knock him down to the ground. Because if he had it like that, then he was going down. You said, oh, he resisted arrest. Oh, no. But when you go back and you watch that man being arrested, you see how that police officer is not trying to put cuffs on him. He's trying to fight him, get him to react so there could be a fight. When the brother was murdered and they choked him out, okay, George, when they choked him out, before they did that, they had beat him in the car. They brought him out of the car. He's dazed and confused. He even took some blows upside his head. They already have cuffs on him. They twisted those cuffs so tight that you see him grimace. And he was walking on his tiptoes around to the other car. And they take him to the other car, and the officer takes his leg behind him and bumps behind his knee, forcing him to fall to the ground. Just took him down. They killed him. Once they were sure that he was dead, then they had other officers from another department come in a ambulance. Do you call them ambulances now? EMS unit. And those were two police officers who came and got him. So when the media try and lie to you and tell you, oh, they took his pulse inside, the ambulance with the paramedics, there was no paramedics. None. Nowhere to be seen. They were armed officers that just scooped him up, just like they do in this country I'm living in. They call him grabbing and bagging. And that's it. And took him away because they knew he was dead. It was in to kill him, to make sure that he didn't live. You have to understand these things and see how that happened. Now back to Richard. Poor Richard running his damn mouth, being, as I call it, Mr. Shit. See, he can talk that way to me. I'm proud of him for his accomplishments. But you don't talk that way to a white man. And I always tell young brothers, you do not sit up there and talk like that to a white man, because that's some bitch. He living in the United States of America, and all he's ever amounted to was what he is, when everything has been given to him, and then knowing every white person in fucking America, when they sit up and tell you, oh, you got the same chance, they're really just talking out their ass, because they know damn well when you succeed, god damn it, you done some shit. And when you sit up and you tell a white man how wonderful you are, how much degrees you have, how much money you make, what type of nice home, nice wife, nice kids, that motherfucker's looking at you. He's saying, I'll be damned. And he's wanting you dead now. 90% of the black men that was hung in the United States of America were business owners. Did you hear what I said? Business owners. They were not Thug Master G, running around with his pants pulled down, looking all stupid, or Cotton Eye Joe. When you look at all of these cases, you see young black men being beaten, being shot, being killed, begging for their life, speaking articulately, with clear diction, okay, enunciating every word properly. And then when you get the full report, you find out they're educated, they had a good job. Look at Philando Castile, okay? When they stopped Philando Castile, do you know what comes up on their computer? That was his car. His girlfriend was driving, but that was his car. And so in his license registration, it states to the police when they pull up your license registration on their computer, it says that that is a gun owner. He's a registered gun owner. So the police officer knew goddamn well he had a gun and wanted him to reach for it. When them motherfuckers tell you to reach for anything, you don't move because he's trying to kill you. That's attempted murder. Okay? Wise up. Do not sit up and tell this motherfucker how good you are, how intelligent you are. And when you listen to that conversation, you be like, oh my. Well, they did what I call, they were in the process that night of coon hunting, okay? Which means they have certain codes they'll give when they finally get a stop on a black guy that they can either kill or beat to death. And so they were coon hunting. So he gave the command, and what they do is they go out of service on their radio. So 911's not calling. So now here you got 8 police officers at a stop that one police officer can handle. Okay? So they all come, and then what do? They're standing so close to him that he cannot breathe hardly. He's nervous now. He knows he's going to die. And so what happened when he sensed fight or flight, you guys, you go there. Everybody goes there. Ahmad Rashad. Not Ahmad, whatever his last name is. That poor kid, he went in fight or flight, okay? Because he ran straight out of shotgun. Fight or flight is a serious condition that when you know death is imminent. And so Richard knew death was imminent. So he tries bracing himself, and they put the yellow, I guess it's a stun gun or a taser. They put it in his hand. Literally put it in his hand. He knew he was a dead man then. Because when they had him, because they were all on him, they went on him to get a reaction. They got the reaction and threw that thing in his hand. When they placed that in his hand, he knew to run. Okay, fight or flight. I'm an old man. Okay, I'm plus 60. All right. Fight or flight is going to get me to fight. I'll fight. Knowing I'm going to get my ass whooped, but I'm going to fight. A young man always will retreat to run because he has that energy, that dynamics. He feels good about himself, and he's physically able. He's going to cope. And so he was going to run, and he's in panic mode. He turns to him with the damn thing. Because it's like, you're trying to kill me, and he realized he can't do shit with this. So he turns to run even more, and officer, pop, double tap. They call it double tap. Walks over and kicks his ass. I got him. Because that was what he wanted to do in the first damn place. You let that motherfucker know that you was 10 times more of a man than he ever could be. State's evidence. Officer gonna tell him all about coon hunting, okay? He gonna tell them about how they placed that damn thing in his hand. He gonna tell them all that shit. They ain't gonna want to hear that shit. They do not want that shit to come to court because that's been a tactic they've allowed for years. Every time you see somebody being beaten by the police, what are the police doing? Stop resisting while they're hitting you with 20,000 volts of electricity, your body just jerking. It came from Rodney King incident. Those people said those police officers was innocent because they seen flailing from his body. Of course he's out, but his body jerking the motion. So when you beating the fuck out of a son of a bitch, naturally he's doing this. And so they yelling stop resisting. When a motherfucker yells stop resisting, mark him for death because he's a murderer. He's trying to kill another human being, and he's using them loud commands to justify his murder. Now, white people know this. You black folks act like you don't know it because you allow one of them sick white motherfuckers to come to your face and say, well, he was resisting. And black folks start arguing, well, you know. Say, motherfucker, you know goddamn well he wasn't resisting. You know he wasn't resisting. But they're evil, and they have their whole existence has been about killing and murdering. And you sitting up there going to allow them to get away with it. Don't allow it. You know goddamn well. They know. White people say, lie to me so that I could be able to be corrupt. They want their president to sit up and lie so that they could hate. And you allow it. I'll be damned. You can't lie to me. And I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I tell people, you can call me every son bitch in the world you want, but you can never call me a lie. I know my shit. When I tell you something, I'm not lying. I don't intentionally lie to anybody. But when you're dealing with your so-called white allies, they don't tell you this shit. That's because they're not your allies. Learn from the movie A Time to Kill. Samuel L. Jackson. He gets all this money from all over the country. It's sent to his legal fund. Instead of hiring a New York attorney or Chicago-based attorney or whatever, and the NAACP is sitting there and he don't want them either. Because they sat up there, they know that they're wanting to fight a death row case. They wanting him to get convicted so that they can overturn a death row. He's like, oh hell no, I want to win this case. I can win this case. So he gets his old backwoods attorney. And his attorney asked him, said, listen, you got all these guys that's willing to fight for you. All this money. He said, why did you continue on with me? He said, listen, because we're friends, right? He's thinking because they're friends. He said, you never parked your feet under my tables and broke bread with me. So we're not friends. He said, I hired you because you wanted them. You think like them, you act like them, you are them. You can win this case. You the one should be in there fighting for me, fighting for my life. And he was right. Your allies, them Sean Kings and Dixon Whites and all them white guys that got, 90% of their followers are black females, okay? Black Lives Matter is black feminism, okay? Lesbians, in other words. None of them have the black man's interests at heart, okay? They're not going to use their platform to get a bunch of black men together and say, hey, how y'all want to stop this shit? They're not going to do that. Them is their people. They know their people. They know these police are 10 policemen on a jaywalking. I mean, in a major city, you guys, I've called 911 before in a major city. Okay? It was like virtually impossible to get somebody to arrive. A lady had fallen, she was ill, and called 911. You get put on hold in a major city. But there's a half a dozen to a dozen police officers on a simple traffic stop. That's a coon hunting operation that they're running. Somebody's getting medals for killing somebody. Oklahoma, I'm going to say Oklahoma City, but it was in Oklahoma. The man's car broke down in the road. Do you know there was 8 police officers there? That woman pulled out her gun and just blew that man away. He's standing there by his car. His car broke down. I've broken down on the road and was somewhat in the freeway. The state trooper got behind me. He has a special bumper and nudged me out of the way. And then wrote my ass a ticket. That's what they're supposed to do. They were not moving that vehicle. They shut down the whole freeway so this white girl could get her bones. Boom! Blow that motherfucker away. And she's got promotions since then and everything else. But y'all allow that. Because see, if within months that white girl was laying in a box, nobody else would do that shit. They would not be doing it. And if you call them out, the white folks can call them out. These so-called white allies can call them out for that. But you never hear them say it. You hear me telling you, and you probably are going to resort into what is called cognitive dissonance. That is when the truth is thrown in your face and you rebuke it anyway. This is the truth I'm telling you. This is the killing and the murders of black people, period. Children, women, it don't matter. What did they say? 740 videos of police officers savagely beating black females from preteen all the way up to adulthood. Nobody wants to accept that. They don't show those videos. You won't see black women sharing those videos because they're too busy talking about love, love, love. White people don't love anybody. Every country they have been to, they have killed, murdered, maimed, and destroyed. Stop talking to them about love and start talking to yourselves about unity and protecting yourselves, defending yourselves. This could be a beautiful country if you walked around with guns too. It would be a wonderful place. Because white people, only thing they respect is somebody that'll kick their damn ass. The only country, the last country, not only, the last country the United States fought that had an army was Korea. The motherfuckers respect the hell out of North Korea. North Korea right now say, hey, shit, we can go toe to toe, and they'll back down. Okay? When they went in with their looking for mass destruction, they were sizing Saddam up. When they made sure he didn't have shit, they went in there and took his goddamn country. That's what they've done to everybody's damn country. But y'all don't want to accept that. Show your hand to that motherfucker and show, oh, love me. What did Donald Trump do? Armed resistance. Hit a government building. Me, I see it as an act of war because I'm prior military. But when you walk into a government building in the United States of America carrying a flag that is anything but an American flag, that's an act of war. And they were armed. So they carried the Nazi flag and the rebel flag into the state building of Michigan. And what did the president do? Well, the governor should sit down and have a talk with them. See, everybody gives respect to them guns. I don't care what flag they was waving. But those protesters, they don't have guns. Everybody know they don't have guns. Black Lives Matter, those are the ones you was spitting on at the campaign rally. You was hitting and kicking and they allowing you to do it. But you want to get the biggest military arsenal out there, and them white boys is happy to do it. They dicks get hard when they got a goddamn powerful gun that could kill somebody that won't fight back. And a black bitch that'll tell her child to lay down and die for a son of a bitch that's hardened to kill their child ain't worth salt on this earth. Because your child should mean as much to you as that white woman's child. And she wants her child to defend herself. So rethink your programming, because you got some bad programming that you allowing our children to be beaten, murdered, and killed, just slaughtered, all in the name of love. What in the fuck you know about love in the last 400 goddamn years? You've been raped, beaten, abused. Ain't nobody loved your goddamn asses. I walk all over the world. I don't get love from no goddamn body. And don't ask for it. I love me. Try to mess with this temple, we all leaving this motherfucker. Okay? And that's the attitude I want every black child on this earth to have. Alone in paradise, I'm out of here.